So today we're going to look at how the characteristics of graphs apply to real-world functions. So here's our situation. Mr. Ritchie wants to buy a new TV that costs $500. He already has $100 towards the purchase of the TV, and he's going to save $50 per week. If he does that and saves $50 per week for the next 8 weeks, he's going to have enough money to buy his TV. So what we need to do first is we need to put this information into a graph. So we know that he already has $100. So what that means is right now at 0 weeks, he already has $100 saved. So when we put that on the graph, for 0 weeks, he has $100. The next thing we're told is that he's going to save $50 every week. So after 1 week, he'll have $50 more than he has now, which will give him $150. And every week, it's going to increase $50 for the next 8 weeks. So if we think about this, this is 1 week, 2 weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for the next 8 weeks, he saves $50. And by the end of that 8 weeks, he has his $500 to buy his TV. Okay, once we have our graph, now we can start identifying our domain and our range. So our domain is all the x values that are part of this function. So if I think about the x value, the number of weeks that we're starting at, and the number of weeks that we're ending at, my domain goes from 0 weeks to 8 weeks. And then we use our interval notation to write that down. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about our range. Remember, the range refers to the y values we have in our function. So from my lowest y value, the lowest amount of money I have, to the highest amount of money I have, my range goes from 100 to 500. He starts with $100, he ends with $500. Okay, our x-intercept is the place where we cross the x-axis. If you look at this function, this graph never gets down to the x-axis, so we would say there is no x-intercept, or none. Okay, my y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So we can see this is our y-axis. That's like our starting amount. Mr. Ritchie is starting with $100, so my y-intercept is where y equals 100. My increasing interval, when I look at this graph, I can see that the money I have is always increasing, always increasing. So my increasing interval is going to be from where we started at 0 weeks all the way up to where we end at 8 weeks. And since it's always increasing and never decreasing, we would say our decreasing interval is none.